I want to start off today's video by just simply asking you this one question. When did you stop believing in yourself? I mean, let's face it, if you really want to be successful when it comes to reaching your health and fitness goals, and maybe that might be getting six-pack abs, maybe that might be losing 50 pounds, maybe that might be getting off your medications for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, lowering your A1C levels, and reversing your type 2 diabetes. Maybe you want to be able to do pull-ups because you can't do any right now. Maybe you want to be able to play with your kids and have all this energy, or maybe have more sex drive and have more confidence and fit into your old favorite clothes you keep tucked away in the back of the closet, or maybe not be in so much pain in your joints every single day waking up. When did you stop believing in yourself? Because realistically, if let's say you're in your 40s, your 50s, maybe even your 60s or 70s, you probably have tried several different diets, right? Keto, fasting, paleo, South Beach diet, Noom, Weight Watchers, all these different cookie cutter programs, V-Shred, P90X, Beachbody, Insanity. And maybe you had some success, but obviously if you're watching this video, maybe that success didn't last as long as you wanted it to. Sure, the first 5, 10, 15 pounds you were able to lose, but then something happened where you fell off track, you fell off the wagon, and you end up regaining all that weight right back. And something happened in the course of life. Maybe it was just because of your lifestyle. Maybe after college, you got married, you got, this career, and you just had no time on your hands, right? But something happened where, you stopped believing in yourself because of either this story that you're telling yourself of you tried all these different diets. You never had success at losing weight, so you're a lost cause. Maybe you kept on telling yourself that, hey, you tried all these different workout programs and you never saw the results that you wanted. So now you're a lost cause. Or maybe, hey, you've studied and did all this research, right? You spent countless hours on Google and YouTube, right? And now you're just even more confused the more you're digging into the weeds and trying to figure it all out on how to lose body fat and how to have more energy and get off your medications. But now you feel like you're a lost cause because all that research made you just feel even more confused. I mean, I don't blame you. You got guys like me out there that's saying, hey, it's okay to eat donuts and drink alcohol and have six-pack abs like myself. And then you have guys out there saying, hey, you can't have any carbohydrates. You'll go to hell if you eat a donut, even if you look at one, right? Like, you got to stick with just eating high fats and sticking with the ketogenic diets. Or you can't eat anything at all, right? Just intermittent fasting and yada, 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 yada. And you're just sitting there, right? Scratching your head like, who do I believe? Who do I trust? Listen, I get it, right? And I want to just give you some words of encouragement, okay? In case you don't know anything about me, or maybe this is your first time stumbling upon my YouTube channel, first off, welcome. My name is Joe Callari. I'm the head coach and founder of Heartletics. Inside of our coaching program, this is where we train our members, right? And coach them on what works best for their body type and their busy schedule. So that way they can learn how to master their health and fitness goals, but most importantly, adapt the right habits, right? Habits that work best for them so that way they can maintain their success long term. I'm sure you heard the phrase, you can either give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or you can, teach a man how to fish and feed him for the rest of his life. That's what we focus on, right? We don't want to give a diet. We don't want to give a workout program. Instead, we want to coach somebody what truly works best for them. So that way they can learn how to fit in their favorite foods. They can learn how to work out, whether that's at the gym, whether that's right at home. Maybe that's only, 2-3 workouts a week. That's 30 minutes max. Or maybe that's, going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. And these guys have, an opportunity to work out a little bit longer than that. Hey, it's to each its own, right? We want to put ourselves in their shoes to help them when it comes to, once again, creating sustainable habits. That way they don't have to eat differently from their family when it comes to dinner time. They don't have to, avoid alcohol or avoid, having ice cream with their kids after, Johnny hits a home run during softball, whatever the case may be, right? It's all about flexibility. And what I strive on the most is making this sustainable, but also fun, where you don't have to be obsessed with health and fitness. I don't coach bodybuilders. I don't coach physique competitors, right? Like, I coach dads. I coach guys that, they're busy working 40, 50 hours a week. They want to spend time with their family. They don't want to be obsessed with, trying to lose body fat and build muscle and this strict black and white protocol of, eat these foods and stay away from these foods. That's not a fun life to live by any means, right? So that's the message that I'm always preaching about. And if that's something that maybe you're interested in, well, hey, guess what? If you're watching this on YouTube right now, if you click on the link down below, there's 2 different resources for you that can maybe help you out. The first one is a free training guide going over how to lose fat and how to build muscle for your body type. Go ahead and check that out. And then the second link is, hey, maybe you want to talk to somebody from my team or maybe myself about having just a one-on-one strategy session, going over your health and fitness goals and just learning, once again, what is the best way when it comes to reaching your goals. Now, this whole self-belief, why am I talking about it? Well, yesterday, for example, my son, he's 6 years old, okay, little Oakley, he had swimming practice. And he has the hardest time when it comes to stepping outside of his comfort zone. Everything that he does when it's his very first attempt at something, it scares the crap out of him. And totally understandable. I mean, the kid's only 6 years old. I think we're all like that. But the best part was yesterday at swimming practice, I happened to be watching him, okay? And the swimming instructor, she's like, hey, come over here right afterwards, after Oakley went away, after I got out of the pool and walked away. And she's like, listen, your son, he can do this. I know he can do this. And I guess it was this whole thing where she had her hands underneath him while he was doing a back float, and then she put her hands away, and Oakley was still floating. He was still doing perfectly fine. But the minute that she actually took her hands and raised it above the pool, and Oakley saw her hands, he freaked out, right? Because he's like, oh no, what's going on, right? And so it brings us to this little lesson that I want to talk about on today's video, which is self-belief and how you need to believe in yourself also. With my son, for example, when he's able to do something after that very first attempt at it, even though it's very scary, it's a step outside of his comfort zone, but it's sure enough, as soon as he's able to do it, it's like, hey, there is no more fear. He's able to try and try because he realizes here, he's not going to die, right? A few weeks ago when he first got started, he had the hardest time jumping into the pool. But sure enough, as soon as he was able to do it the very first time, right? Now the dude's constantly jumping in the pool, right? He thinks it's a lot of fun, okay? And now this whole thing that happened yesterday with my son and the backflip and, trying to put his head underneath the water and blow bubbles, very scared, right? It terrifies him. And right now, right, that little pep talk that I got from his swimming instructor about, hey, he just needs to believe in himself, it made me realize that maybe you need to believe in yourself also. Because you've probably tried all these different diets. You probably tried all these different workouts and you stopped believing in yourself that it was possible. And I want you to just stop and really think about this. When in your life, right, have you had it easy the entire duration of time? When did you not mess up? When did you not fail? I'm sure playing sports, it's not like you mastered it overnight and you were perfect at it. No, I'm sure you had some challenges with that. Maybe when it comes to riding a bike back when you were a kid, I'm sure you fell off a few times, and maybe you were very nervous the very first time getting on the bike or maybe taking off the training wheels. Or who knows, maybe school or even just meeting your spouse. And, when you guys first started dating and, or maybe your first argument, it's not like you just quit. It's not like, you're married now and, life is perfect. It's like, no, you're always going to go through challenges. But what do? Do you just pack up everything in your suitcase and just leave? It's like, no, you work through those, right? Because that's actually what makes you stronger. That's actually what makes you better at the end of the day. So my question is, why did you stop giving up on yourself? Why did you stop believing in yourself when it comes to being successful at reaching your health and fitness goals? Because real talk, if you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, maybe even your 70s, and you're fat, lazy, out of shape, constantly in joint pain, right? Bad eating habits, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because realistically, monkey see, monkey do. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And you might not think it's that bad because maybe you're 50 pounds overweight, you got the man boobs, you got, the spare, belly and the gut, and maybe you're just like, whatever, I don't care, Hey, that's okay. But if you got kids, that's not okay by any means. Because now you're telling them it's okay to settle for average. Now you're telling them that it's okay to be fat, lazy, and out of shape and not try to become the best version of yourself. And guys, right, you need to learn how to be the change that you want to see in the world. I mean, here's all the thing that comes along with being in better shape. More energy, more confidence, living longer, inspiring others, being better role models, but also the capability of just being able to do things. I know a lot of guys that, I see them all the time. Whenever I'm taking my son to different, areas with other dads and their kids, it's just like, man, these guys can't even play with their kids. These guys can't even run around with them. They're having a hard time just getting out of the car. And maybe that's you right now, right? Like every single morning, you're trying to put on your socks and your shoes for work and you got to suck in your stomach. Like, why does it have to be that hard for you? Why can't you just learn how to just get in better shape? And once again, it doesn't have to be a struggle. You don't need to do burpees and backflips and cut out your favorite foods and this crash dieting by any means. Like, learn the basics. And once again, if you need some assistance on that, then there's some resources down below in the link. But I want to just go over this with you because before you can even go anywhere when it comes to your health and fitness journey, you first need to master, right, who you are currently right now. Let me repeat that one more time. Before you can go anywhere on your health and fitness journey, you first need to master who you are currently right now. How do you master that? The right mindset. How do you have the right mindset? Self-belief. Right? How do you get that self-belief? You do that by stepping outside of your comfort zone. You do that by not quitting. You do that by not throwing in the towel, right? And that's what helps you when it comes to building more confidence. And over time, right, when you build more confidence, you're gaining more self-trust. I know a lot of dads out there, they don't have that confidence. They don't have that self-trust because if you think about it, they're constantly making promises and breaking them to themselves. Oh, I'm going to get in shape this year. Oh, I'm going to get started on Monday. Oh, I'm going to avoid this and start exercising. But then sure enough, that only lasts for a short period of time, just like motivation. That's why motivation does not last. Discipline is what keeps you going. That's the ultimate fuel source, right? But when it comes to breaking promises to yourself, yeah, you're going to lose that self-belief because you don't want to keep on hurting yourself deep down inside. Telling yourself that, hey, you are going to get in shape and this is going to be the year to make a change and, you're going to stick with this regimen or this workout plan. But then sure enough, when life throws you a curveballs, which it always does, you give up. You quit way too soon. And honestly, like, what would be the advice that you would give your kids if they were struggling with sports and they were struggling with their health and fitness journey and they were struggling in school? Like, would you just tell them, hey, it's okay to be a loser and quit? Like, no, you'd probably give them amazing advice. You probably tell them to keep on going. You probably encourage them. Why don't you give yourself that advice? Well, maybe you need an outside influence, and maybe that's why you stumbled upon this video right now, where maybe I can help you out. So I want to share with you just 3 quick analogies with real people, right, in terms of what led to them being successful after, guess what? They had to go through a lot of failures in life. And then afterwards, I want to share with you 3 of my coaching clients, right, all in their 40s. And what led to them being successful on their health and fitness journey. So for starters, let's talk about the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan, right? One of my favorite athletes. Well, I'm sure you know this. Everybody does, right? He didn't start off, right, as soon as he came, high school, middle school, whenever he started playing basketball. He wasn't the GOAT back then. In fact, he got cut from his high school basketball team. Now, just imagine that, the greatest basketball player of all time getting cut from their high school basketball team. Now, what if Michael Jordan had your mindset when it comes to you on your health and fitness journey? Because you've tried all these different things, but yet here you are quitting on yourself once again and not striving to become the best version of yourself. Well, guess what? We wouldn't have Michael Jordan as the GOAT. So it just proves to you that, hey, if Michael Jordan can come back after failure, why can't you? Next story, which is my favorite, Roger Bannister. He's the first person ever to run a 4-minute mile. Now, here's the best part, right? And this has everything to do with inspiring others. Okay, so pay close attention. Now, everybody thought it was impossible to run a 4-minute mile. In fact, the doctors thought that the human heart would explode if anybody was able to attempt and complete a 4-minute mile. But sure enough, he tried and tried and tried. Failed and failed and failed. He even had written in his shoe like 3.96, for the timestamp. And continued to try, continued to fail. And everybody thought it was impossible. But one day, after many failed attempts, Roger Bannister was able to complete that 4-minute mile. And sure enough, since he's been able to do it, there's been hundreds of people now that have been able to complete a mile in underneath 4 minutes. In fact, high schoolers now. And once again, that has everything to do with Roger Bannister not giving up on himself, not accepting failure. All failure means is first act in learning, fail. It is the stepping stones to success. You need to fail in life if you want to grow, if you want to be successful. You just have to learn that about yourself. That's why there aren't many people out there successful, because they quit way too soon. But this is what happened when Roger Bannister didn't quit and continued to show up, even when he was struggling, even when he wasn't completing that mile in only 4 minutes. He was eventually able to complete it, mission accomplished, break the self-limiting belief in hundreds, millions of people, right? Doctors now, hey, they realize, hey, people can actually run a 4-minute mile and not die. High schoolers can be like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it too. And let me just ask you this. If you're somebody right now that, let's say, has high blood pressure, has high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, or maybe you just have the man boobs and the love handles and you're fat, lazy, and out of shape, right? You might be waving that off as, hey, this is just the cards that I've been dealt, and I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, like, I'm just going to be okay with this, right? And you accepted that pettiness. Sure enough, like, what happened if you actually got in shape? And what happens if, let's just say, you had a coworker that was also highly medicated and they saw you were able to be successful? Don't you think that would inspire them? What if you had a family member, right? And you were able to get off your medications and improve your health? Don't you think that would inspire them? Just like Roger Bannister inspired all these people? Of course it will. And lastly, let's talk about Thomas Edison, right? Like, you know the story. It took him over 1,000 failed attempts, right, at creating the light bulb. And this is the best part about what I like about Thomas Edison's story, is he flipped the switch on it. Everybody's like, dude, you failed so many times. You failed. He said, no, I didn't fail. I just learned over 1,000 ways on how not to make a light bulb. Why don't you just tell yourself that same story with you on your health and fitness journey? That, hey, you may have tried all these different diets, tried all these different workout programs, and they didn't work for you, right? So instead of saying, hey, this is just the card that's been dealt, I can't get in shape, I'm a fat, lazy loser the rest of my life. No, instead of painting that picture and telling yourself that lie, why don't you flip the switch? And instead, why don't you actually just start to say, you know what? I just realized here that that stupid ketogenic diet didn't work for me. Or that dumb intermittent fasting protocol didn't work for me. Or that, CrossFit or, cardio didn't work for me. That's it. You don't need to give up completely. You don't need to throw in the towel and quit. Now I want to share with you 3 case studies, right, with guys in their 40s in terms of like them having that same mindset when they got signed up for our coaching program. The first one up is Santo. Santo lost over 50 pounds of fat all within 90 days when he first got started with our coaching program. He's 46 years old when he first got started. But guess what? He tried keto, he tried paleo, he tried carnivore, he tried all these different diets, tried all these different workouts, and it was the same old song and dance. He would do it for a short period of time, lose some weight, but it wasn't sustainable. He would have to cut out his alcohol, his bourbon, cut out pizza, just couldn't stick with it. Had to eat differently from his family, it wasn't sustainable. So he just waved it off. And for years, right, Santo was just packing on the pounds until he saw one of my Facebook ads. Decided to give me a call. Realized it wasn't some AI robot on the other side. It was actually a human being named Joe Callari from Cleveland, Ohio. And we talked all about his goals, all about his lifestyle. And I just told him, hey, Santo, if I was in your shoes, here's exactly what I would do. Because that's what I do. I make personalized plans. I'm a nutritionist. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I'm a personal trainer. And if I was having all this knowledge and living your lifestyle and walking in your shoes, here's what I would do. Santo loved everything he heard, got signed up, and lost over 50 pounds while still drinking alcohol and eating pizza, ice cream, donuts, the whole 9 yards. Lost over 50 pounds all within 90 days. Next story, Brian. Brian, when he first got signed up for our coaching program, was 43 years old. Right? He was working this rotating swing shift. It was constant stress. He was hating how he was looking, hating how he was feeling, had no energy to play with his kids, tried all these different diets, even tried downloading MyFitnessPal and tracking his calories and macros because that's what he heard from a few of my YouTube videos. And he realized, man, I just can't do this. Like, this is just too hard, He realized here that as time was going on, it was just only hurting him and his health and his relationship with his kids. And he realized after having a long, hard conversation with himself in the mirror, I got to make a change. And he just decided to give me a buzz. Told me, hey, Joe, I've been watching your videos. I realized here, I don't know what to do. And once we had that honest conversation, and hats off to Brian, because most guys out there, they have these pride, they have this ego. They're like, oh, YouTube's free, Google's free, I can figure it out all on my own. But it only just stops them from actually having success and delays that process even longer. And let's face it, right? You can always make your money back in life, but you can't make back that time. It's a precious commodity. And Brian realized that. So instead of wasting just, more time, right, on countless things that didn't work, he realized I'm just going to invest into a coach that's actually going to show me what to do. And literally within the first year, Brian lost over 85 pounds. Six-pack abs. He's been able to maintain that now for over 5 years now. Like, imagine if somebody taught you how to get in the best shape of your life and you're able to maintain that success now for years and years and years and years. And just like fine wine, only get better with age. That could realistically be you. And lastly, let's talk about Jason. Jason lost over 100 pounds within the first year when he first got signed up. When Jason got signed up a few years ago, he's 44 years old, right? Very depressed at the time, horrible self-image. He'll tell you straight up. He had a horrible negative mindset, constantly just seeing darkness, constantly just seeing the glass being half empty rather than half full. And on his health and fitness journey, he used to play sports, used to be in great shape. And sure enough, hey, get married, have some kids, have a career, and hey, life gets the best of you. So Jason started packing on these pounds, started trying all these different diets, never had success. And once again, he realized I'm a lost cause. And Jason would be the first one to tell you, he had to take that big step outside of his comfort zone, which especially when it came to talking with me before we even had a call. Jason opted into one of my, free fat loss guides, and I got his number, I got his name, and just started texting him, hey man, what's your goals? He's like, I want to lose some body fat. I said, great. What is your current body fat percentage at now? I said, I don't know. I said, okay. Do you feel comfortable sending me a photo of what you look like with your shirt off? And most guys honestly would probably say no. Especially if you got the man boobs and the beer belly, of course you're going to feel uncomfortable. But Jason realized something that he needed to get out of his head. He needed to get out of his comfort zone because, hey, nothing else was helping him. Maybe this random person texting him from Cleveland, Ohio could actually give him a solution to his goals and provide, a plan for him to follow. And Jason said, sure. He went, and went to the bathroom, took off his shirt, sent it over to me. And he'll tell you, it was so uncomfortable. It actually took him a few days before he actually sent me over that image. That's how awkward and uncomfortable it was for him. And once again, I don't blame him. If I was looking like him and feeling like him and, that would be uncomfortable to you also, right? You're texting a random person that you meet online. But sure enough, Jason did it. And my reply back was, bro, that's easy. Where are you trying to get to with your goals? Okay, cool. Want to hop on a quick call? I'll literally give you the whole entire game plan. Here's exactly what I would do if I was in your shoes. And I broke it all down for him. A week later, Jason got signed up for our coaching program. Within the first year, lost over 100 pounds. And as you can see from Santo, from Brian, from Jason, all these guys did all these different diets, all these different workout programs, but never had success until they stepped outside their comfort zone, until they waved the white flag and realized, I don't know what to do. These diets aren't helping me. They're nothing more than just Band-Aid to the gunshot wound. It's not actually teaching me. Nothing sustainable for my busy lifestyle with my kids, my crazy work schedule, and I don't want to continue to fail at this. So they decided to invest in their health. And that's what led them to where they are today. Having more energy, more confidence, off their medications, and most importantly, being better role models, not only to their family, right, and their kids and their coworkers, but also to the other members inside of our coaching program, inside of our community group. And that could be you as well. So hopefully you got some inspiration. Hopefully you feel a little bit more encouraged to just, hey, embrace the unknown. As much as it's going to suck, as much as it feels awkward and uncomfortable at first because you don't know what's on the other side outside of your comfort zone, let's face it, you can't grow inside of your comfort zone. That's where the growth is at, right outside there. And you just need to believe in yourself. You need to have that self-worth. Hey, I got this. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to throw in the towel. I'm going to overcome this. And maybe you just need some help. Maybe you just need some assistance. That's all. And once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's some links down below for you. The first one is that free fat loss and muscle building guide. Take a look at it. The second one is scheduling a call with myself or somebody from my team, right? Fast tracking, once again, you when it comes to becoming the best version of yourself at reaching your health and fitness goals. And not even just physically, but mentally as well. Guys, I really hope that you got a lot of value from today's episode. If you did, definitely give this one a thumbs up. And also leave a comment down below if you have any kind of questions for me that I can help answer for you. And make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. This has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.